Hello, this is a guide to +10 Siege of Boralus with the affixes Fortified, Sanguine, Grievous, and Infested. This route and strategies can be adapted for use with other affixes as well. We use water striders to jump down to the lower level. When doing this trick, you need to make sure your camera is facing upward so you don't end up swimming in the water. Grab the pathing Scrimshaw Enforcer and then move to the right and grab the pack in the covered area. You will need to CC the infested Scrimshaw Gutter in this pack. Keep in mind which mobs are infested changes weekly, so if you're running this on a week with a different set of affixes, you may need to CC another mob. Once this pack is down, turn around and head down the wooden path. In the next pack, CC the infested Scrimshaw Gutter and make it a priority to interrupt the Irontide Wave Shaper's watertight shell ability. The last pack you'll engage before leaving this area has Gutters and Irontide Powder Shots, who cast Molten Slag. This ability is uninterruptible, but you can use displacement abilities to lessen damage taken from it. Your healer should make sure everyone stays topped off. In this next area, we use Cloak to skip packs of mobs on the way to the first boss. You could use invisibility potions here if you do not have a rogue. This skip can be risky because you do not get a graveyard until you kill the second boss, so if you die, do not release unless the party wipes. If you kill this section of mobs instead of cloaking, I recommend CCing the Black Tar Bomber and then focusing down the Snarling Dockhound, the Packmaster, and Riptide Shredders. In the boss's room, CC the Black Tar Bomber and the infested Scrimshaw Gutter. Focus down the other Scrimshaw Gutters, then the Irontide Raider. Be sure to move away from his Savage Tempest ability. Kill the Black Tar Bomber before breaking your CC on the infested mob. For the last pack in this room, CC any infested and then focus down the Snarling Dockhound to break the Feral Bond buff. Move on to the Packmaster and then any remaining adds. The first boss is fairly easy. Use Hero on the pull. If you are fixated, run the boss through bombs or explosive zones as often as possible. The tank should pick up the adds, and the DPS who are not fixated should focus down the Irontide Cleaver first. The next pull is 4 Irontide Marauders with 1 being infested. CC the infested and DPS down the others. Next, pull the Pathing Ashvane Commander and 2 Irontide Powder Shots. Keep interrupts on the Ashvane Commanders, bolstering Shout. We clear all the trash from this point up to the second boss. That includes the 2 packs in our path, the Irontide Marauders to the side, both mobs on the ship, all mobs on the ramp to the second boss, and all mobs in the second boss's room. The second boss, Dread Captain Lockwood, is a 2-phase cycling fight. On pull, you face her, and after a short period of time, she will jump away and you'll face 3 adds. Focus down the Ashvane Cannoneer first. Upon death, the Cannoneer drops a cannon that a player needs to pick up and use in order for the Dread Captain to jump back to the main encounter area. If you have a Druid in the group, you can use Entangling Roots on the deckhands to root them on the ship and stop them from engaging in the fight. This is very helpful on tyrannical weeks. The next pull consists of a Bilgerat Demolisher, 2 Bilgerat Buccaneers, and a Bilgerat Plunderer. Your priority here is to kill the Demolisher and line of sight or range his Terrifying Roar ability. You must do this while also dodging any banana rampages. If you're not comfortable doing all this at once, pull the Demolisher separately from the Buccaneers and the Plunderer. We ran into a little bit of trouble here, so we wiped. Instead of pulling everything together, the better course is to CC the infested and pull the other mobs back so you don't aggro the Demolisher. We took a risk on the next pull and grabbed everything because none of the mobs were infested. I would, however, use caution when doing this area with affixes like bolstering or explosive, because if you fail the fear at any point like we did, it could quickly lead to another wipe. Keep an eye on the infested buccaneer that is hanging from the building as well. You can skip this mob if you don't get too close. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of mobs that you can skip from this point on, so proceed down the path and up the stairs until you reach the third boss's area, killing any mobs that are directly in your path. At the top of the stairs, the spotter will target a random player with slighted artillery, dropping artillery fire on their current location after 1.5 seconds. Use this to help DPS down the other mobs by running it over top of them. Melee players and tanks, you'll want to watch out. To clear the third boss's room, you'll need to go pack by pack. There is usually only one infested mob in this room. If you accidentally pull the boss, you can reset him, but it will pull all remaining mobs in the room, so be careful if you haven't killed anything yet. Our kill order for these mobs is usually Sniper, Destroyer, Invader, and Commander. I face pulled the boss here, so you'll want to not do that. The third boss throws out brine pools at random players, and you'll want to avoid getting hit by or standing in these. He'll then cast Crashing Tide at the tank, leaving a line of pools in the direction cast. Make sure you're not in this and try to face it away from the statue. His last ability is Tidal Surge, which summons a line of waves that need to be line of sighted. Use the statue in the middle of the encounter area to do this. After the boss is dead, mount up and get ready to run down to the final boss. You shouldn't need any more trash at this point. The final boss is a bit of a nightmare, so we like to be overly cautious, saving Hero for the last platform. We keep our melee DPS full-time on the Gripping Terror and our other two DPS on the Demolishing Terror. When the Demolishing Terror dies, all DPS switches to the Gripping Terror to free the Engineer. On tyrannical weeks, we usually end up killing 2 to 3 Demolishing Terrors using this strategy depending on the group's overall DPS. Once the Engineer is free, wait for him to repair the cannon and use it to shoot the boss. Once you make it to the third platform, you're home free. Use Hero and nuke the first Demolishing Terror, then switch to the Gripping Terror until it's dead. Use the cannon, and congratulations, you've just completed a +10 Siege of Boralus in time. I hope you found this guide helpful, and if you have any tips or tricks for this dungeon, let me know in the comments below. Okay, bye!